What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Welcome to another edition of Dangle Bet Celly, a surprise edition, I suppose, because we are coming at you here on Monday, November 20th. Chris Meaney and Eric Young here with you live on our FTN Network YouTube page. Smash the like button if you guys are hanging out with us live. You're watching the replay. Also, smash the like button. You have any comments, any questions, anything at all, leave it there in the comment section. Always circling back on these videos. No games tomorrow in the NHL. No games Thursday for Thanksgiving. So we have 7 games tonight. We have a busy Wednesday, a massive slate on Friday, and we are off to week 7 already of the fantasy hockey season. Waiver wire article is live and it's free over at ftnfantasy.com. Look for the DFS NHL article today over at ftndaily.com and the free betting article for today's slate over at ftnbets.com. UI, happy Monday. Hopefully you had a good weekend. You are rocking the Flyers jersey. Those guys are playing pretty good hockey at the moment.
Yeah, not bad. This was just a random choice. And just, Legion of Boom, Eric Lindros, one of the coolest lines ever in the NHL. That's what I had to go with today. That's what I'm feeling like. Schedule has been nuts, as everyone has known. I've been talking about that. Really busy weekend again for me. And I fly to the United Kingdom tomorrow for 3 weeks to work every day. And
Wow.
As a lazy person, I don't know how I ended up having 3 jobs. I don't really know how that happened, but here I am with 3 jobs.
Here you are
and
with 3 jobs.
It's all things that I like, so it's nice. I'm not complaining in any way. I'm just saying, as a person that's classically very lazy, and having 3 jobs it's a wild outcome for me in my life. I'm going to tell you.
I believe it. I was bummed as a child when the Habs traded away John LeClair, who was part of what was happening in Philadelphia, especially as a kid. I didn't understand it as a kid when the Habs won the Cup in '93. And I watched like all those games to date myself. I was like 8, 9 years old. And LeClair had scored the game-winning in the Stanley Cup Finals, the game-winning overtime goal in Game 3 in LA. The game
he's going to play in Montreal forever.
4 in LA. I'm like, this guy's just going to be a Hab forever. They're going to retire his number. He's a legend. And then they traded him, and I just didn't understand it. And then he was awesome. He was just okay during that run and those times, and he was just a kid himself. And then he was awesome in Philadelphia. Daily Handle, I did see this as well. I saw you retweet that. That was pretty cool. You were at the Nashville game, and they interviewed you, and you were talking about some of your favorite memories there with the Preds over the weekend. And then you had a victory, right? Philip Forsberg and company ended up squeaking out the victory for you there. Troy's in the house, starting to get
I love this.
Starting to get tough, staying positive about the Columbus Blue Jackets. I'm trying not to research draft prospects this early in the season. Allegedly, they are about to make a huge midseason trade for a center. You know what? I found myself over the weekend as well looking at draft prospects as I watched the Montreal Canadiens play the Boston Bruins. It was like men versus boys, and I'm like, yeah. Here are all the losses as the Habs go on the West Coast trip, which they never, ever do well on. So you and I again, Troy will be fighting it out for the number 1 overall pick, and it's also a pretty good draft. I mean, it's not Connor Bedard franchise type, game-changing generation up at the top, but there's some pretty good players there. I don't know what the Blue Jackets do. Patrick Laine just straight up a healthy scratch. Like, what? I don't understand the motivation behind it. Like, these guys already got paid. They are who they are at this point, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's I like Patrick Laine. I mean, as a player, he's fun to watch. But this has happened to him everywhere, right? Like the coaching staff, that they don't like him. Some of their players don't like him. It's not just a
Tortorella thing. It's not just a Maurice thing. You know what I mean?
It's very clearly not just that. I mean, this has happened in 2 different places with 3 or 4 different coaches. There's one common denominator. So, you can sort that out for yourself. You guys are all adults. It sucks because he's an ultra talented player. And you wonder, if he was fully motivated and, kind of fully committed to being the best player he could be, what kind of player would he be? It's clearly that he's not. This is now the 3rd, maybe 4th coach that has done this to him, sat him or punished him or scratched him or whatever the case may be. I mean, what is he? He's 6'2", 215 pounds. I mean, a horse of a man, like can rip the puck. It has one of the best shots in the NHL, one of the best releases in the NHL. There was a point where people were arguing of him being drafted over Austin Matthews.
Austin Matthews, yeah.
I mean, people were like, "Oh, these guys are going to be forever." He doesn't even play. He's not even in the same stratosphere as Austin Matthews. He's not in the same neighborhood. If he doesn't watch himself, he's going to be out of the NHL. To pay the money that they're paying him to not play is insane. It's insane.
And a tough guy to hold in fantasy hockey leagues. Just the article that I wrote up yesterday, I said, you know what? What's the point?
He's done barely nothing, and now he's not even playing.
Yeah, so it's tough. You can't be taking any props for these guys like Johnny Hockey too, because you just don't know when they're going to be benched. You don't know what kind of ice time that they're going to get, so you have to cross them off your list. And I was looking at Celebruni video highlights as well over the weekend. I know the broadcast for the Habs and the Bruins game, Simpson and Cuthbert they were talking about watching him over the weekend and him popping off, and also gave some love to Lane Hudson, which I can't wait for as well. Be a long season in Columbus, Troy, unfortunately. Daily Handles in the house. Good morning. Happy Monday to you, man. Just my Monday is starting off just wild today. It's just, there's a lot going on in my life at the moment. It was a snowstorm last night randomly. It's just so annoying. And then we got the Birds and the Chiefs tonight, and I got a hockey game tonight, so I'm gonna have to record it and watch it late. It's gonna be a long day and night for me. Diehard MMA podcasts, welcome in. Hopefully you guys are having a great Monday. We're gonna get going here. 14 games on Wednesday, and Line A. I'm gonna be honest, Line A hasn't been the same since that dirty hit from Anderson. Seems very scary. Yeah, that may be part of it. He took a cheap shot, and he missed a little bit of time with a concussion. So maybe, but this is as EY said, it's a long trend here, unfortunately, for Line A. So it is American Thanksgiving. We want to say what up to the American crew. Hopefully you guys able to spend some time with your families, and you have a nice little break potentially. I know not everybody gets these breaks, but if you're fortunate enough to have something on Thursday or Friday with your family, get together, wish you all the best. So FTN coming up with a little bit of something for you guys. We're thankful for all the support, of course, we've had on this show, and we've had over at FTN over the past couple of years. And look at this hot fire graphic from George trying to jinx everybody. There's no jinxing David Pastrnak. And Kevin Durant is just on an island by himself. He can be jinxed. And then Patty Mahomes. I mean, I like what you're trying to do here, George. Maybe just a little bit of red with the orange and fire theme here, but hopefully Mahomes has a dud game tonight. But 40% off all packages. That's the biggest thing to take away from this. Joe Burrow is on the original graphic. The curse is real because Joe Burrow is done for the season. So put Burrow on the original graphic, had to redo the graphic here. Hopefully nothing happens to these three superstars, let's be honest. But promo code GRAVY for all packages over at FTN Fantasy, FTN Daily, and FTNBets.com. Not too late to be
promo
part
code
of
GRAVY.
It's so good, right? Yeah, gravy. So yeah, absolutely.
Who doesn't like gravy?
I don't want to hear anybody say that they don't like gravy. There's something wrong with you if you don't like
Keep
gravy.
It to yourself. Keep it to yourself if you don't like it.
Keep it to yourself. Not too late to get on over at the FTN Fantasy. It's stretch run here into week 12 of the fantasy football playoffs. We're going to have rankings for you guys the rest of the way into playoffs. All kinds of greatness there at ftnfantasy.com, projections, tools, plus all the sports, right, that you get. And then over at FTN Bets, you get all the picks from everybody across all sports, projections, tools, college. Look, it's just switching from the old Burrow one to the Mahomes. Do that again. Switch back to the. Oh no! What did you do to Burrow, man? What did you do? You knew you had him on all your fantasy football teams too. Why would you do that to Joe Burrow, your guy? He gone. Anyways. FTN Daily too. We saw our guy Two Gun win a ton of cash last night, and if you're out of your season-long football league, you can still play DFS. Right? We'll guide you through our process, the Discord channel, the thoughts, We have a ton of FTN daily articles. The guys are with you on Sunday mornings. The guys are with you Monday nights, Thursday nights to walk through the lineups. And DFS is pretty fun. So if you're looking to be part of the family, now's the time to get it done. 40% off using promo code GRAVY. Do you have any gravy is PTP on mashed potatoes and turkey? Yes, it is. That's why we're using the promo code GRAVY. I love it. Any Thanksgiving planned? I know you're traveling, but do you have like anything, UI, that you normally?
We split. Me and my wife split. Half the time we'll do something here. The other half the time we'll go up to Michigan with her family. So she'll be loading up the dogs in her sweet Prius and driving up to there to hang out with her family and have a great time by herself. And I will be working in the United Kingdom. That'll be my Thanksgiving this year.
That'll be your Thanksgiving. Okay. Well, mine's long gone.
Already done it. Yeah, you've done it.
Long gone. I love Jake Seeley. He's like, Thanksgiving this year in Canada? Like, yeah, dude, every year. Shots fired.
Just on a different day.
Just on a different day in a different month. But I will be celebrating.
I had a lady ask me if we celebrate Christmas on the same day in Canada one time.
Oh my god, that's probably one. That's probably one of the worst that I've heard. Yeah, one time I was in the States and it was super hot, and I was with I was young, but I'll never forget this. We were in California. I used to live in BC, so we drove down. We did like the whole Universal Studios and Cali stuff, Disneyland or whatever. And we were at a hotel, and it was just super hot. And Dad was like looking for a drink in the shop, and he asked for. He would just like got to talking, and oh, you're from Canada, military, yada yada. Asked one thing for real. He asked if the planes go underwater. Asked how he would get to the States from Canada. Asked if the planes. He's like, it flew like anybody else. And then a follow-up question later, when he asked for a Coke, he was like, "Wow, you guys, Coke? You have Coke in Canada?" And it's like, yeah, dude, like we even have Pepsi. We have Pepsi there too, man.
It's clueless. Look, it's not taught in the United States, right? Like you don't.
Come on.
In Canada, like you take stuff about American history. I mean, the truth is I probably know more about American history than an average American does. They're not told anything about Canada at all. Like no one in this country knows anything about what goes on for the most part. It's insane. It's insane. I mean, the truth is they don't care. It's insignificant. It doesn't matter.
I get it.
Doesn't matter.
I even feel like and don't take this the wrong way, my American friends. I even feel like some of my American friends don't even know like a majority of the states, like where they are and other states, like outside of like 15 to 20 states. I'm not even kidding here. Like Maine, when I tell people I'm in Nova Scotia and I'm by Maine, like there's a look on their face like, where the hell's Maine?
Yeah.
It's just like, anyway.
Nobody really knows where Maine is. It's a weird one.
There's a point emoji there for Jordan Allen there. Okay, we're gonna get going. Enough of this. Promo code GRAVY.
Yep.
Just lost all our viewers and subscribers from Maine. Tampa and Boston here tonight. The Lightning and the Bruins. This should be a good one. Boston, I mean, they just keep getting it done. I was watching the game on Saturday, and I heard the stat: the first team in NHL history to rack up 26 points through their first 15 games in back-to-back seasons. They're doing it again.
Jeez, man.
They're 13-1-2. 13-1-2. They're actually on pace to have the exact same record, basically, that they had last year. And 2 years ago, it was, slow start, no McAvoy and no Marchand. This year, it's like, no Bergeron and no Krejci, but it doesn't matter. They go goalie for goalie in Allmark and Swayman. They don't allow anything. So far this season, they've allowed 32 goals. 32 goals. I'm looking at the Eastern Conference right now, and I actually don't see the Rangers have allowed 34. So that's great. Everybody else is like in the 50s. Some teams are in the 60s. Like the Habs have allowed double the amount of goals that the Boston Bruins have allowed so far. It's wild. And the Tampa Bay Lightning have allowed double as well. 65 goals so far they've allowed this season. They've won 2 straight. The Bruins have won 2 straight. I can't ignore Zaka's on the board. I can't ignore Zaka. He's still hanging around in like 50% of Yahoo leagues, like 60% of ESPN leagues. That top line of Marchand, Berger, or Pasternak, it's just like old habit. Marchand, Bergeron, Pasternak, Zaka, and Marchand, like those three guys to me are the guys to attack. JVR interesting for a point on the other side. Kucherov has been really good, but do you have anything from this game? I don't have a ton. I'm going to jump on the pass to shot prop and the Marchand shot prop, and I'll probably dive into like a Pavel Zacha assist or a point because I think that line will probably find the back of the net tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Boston, I think, wins this. Tampa Bay has been not good. Their goaltending has been abysmal. They need Vasilevsky back in the worst way. And I don't even know if that fixes it because the truth is like they're not even playing good, right? Like they're giving up tons of high danger chances. This is not the Tampa Bay that we're used to. Like you said, it is the Boston Bruins that we're used to somehow. Like it's actually insane when you really think about it. Like, I mean, there's not even the most diehard Boston Bruins fan thought it would be like this. I don't care. They can say whatever they want. And like, look at, we got Troy on here, losing hope about his lowly Columbus Blue Jackets. Like, I've been a Maple Leafs fan most of my life and it's torturous. But Boston, they shouldn't be this good and they are. And it's whatever is happening, it's magic and it's cool to see because I like the team. I like a bunch of the players. I got Pastrnak to score. It's negative 115, but dude is just an absolute machine. And Marchand has been, hot and cold. And I think he's due for one tonight. He's at plus 200 on FanDuel. So I got those two guys. And Tampa side, I'm going to go Kucherov and Stamkos because I really don't know who else to pick. So I'm just picking those guys.
Yeah, I don't even want to pick anybody because I just feel like Boston, they just don't allow anything. They don't allow a whole lot. Yeah. They don't give up many shots, many high-quality chances. Their goalies are just phenomenal. But Zacha is plus 130 for an assist. He's minus 145 for a point. That's not too bad. And because it's Tampa, I don't think books have really adjusted too much on they just see Tampa. But this team is giving up a lot of shot attempts and a lot of quality chances. Yeah. So Marchand at minus 145, it's a little bit juicy, but 2.5 shots for Marchand. And his assist is minus 105. And then Pastrnak, I believe I saw plus money for him. It's gone now. It's minus 105 for 5 shots. I mean, it could certainly happen here tonight, even the plus 140 for a 2-point night for David Pastrnak, because like I said, I mean, you said it too, but this Lightning team is having issues keeping the puck out of their net. 65 goals they've allowed so far in the season, which is just one behind the Canadians for the most in the Atlantic, and the Canadians have played, actually both the Lightning and the Canadians have played 18 games. So we'll move on from that one. Let's head on over to Edmonton in Florida. This is the highest total game on the slate here. We have the Oilers and the Panthers at 7. This is basically a pick 'em here tonight. Use the prop shot parlay calculator to get the best possible number. Save yourself a little bit of time. I'm seeing minus 110 at Florida at Bet365. I'm seeing minus 105 for the Edmonton Oilers over at DraftKings. And like I said, the total, I mean, you can get 6.5 at minus 144, but I mean, what's the point? I think that we'll see over 7 here. Just like when the Oilers played the Lightning over the weekend, that total was 7 as well, and we did see over 7. Edmonton, man, I don't know how this turns around. It's not all on Skinner. I watched them against the Lightning over the weekend, and I thought they played a decent game. They carried play. The third period was a collapse. They still don't give up a ton of shot attempts and shots at 5-5. Like they really do carry the play. But it's all like the quality chances that they give up is like 2-on-1, 3-on-2. And it's just I'm not trying to make an excuse for Skinner, but some of the goals that go in, he's got no chance, man, at some of these. And here north of the border, I hear some rumors that Edmonton scouts have been at the last few Canadians games watching Caden Primo or Jake Allen. I almost called him Jordan. I don't think that either of those guys are the answer either for the Edmonton Oilers. We'll see what happens here, but this is a trend that's continuing here. A lot of overs in their hockey games at the moment. No Barkov tonight, so we're going to see an uptick from Anton Lundell. Consider him in DFS. He's cheap. He's going to play up on the top line with Verhaeghe and Sam Reinhart. And then we're going to see Evan Rodriguez on that second line with Bennett and Tkachuk. We have Brendan Montour, who returned over the weekend, so he is back in the lineup. And then Evan Bouchard was on the list for me here because, man, he just keeps shooting. and I like him tonight for over 2.5 shots. So there's a few things that I like here this evening. I'll let you take it away first because you got some goals. I think we're definitely going to see some goals here in this game.
Yeah, I do too. At least Edmonton is in the mix, since the coaching change. I don't think it was the right thing to do, but they had to do something, and they don't have any power to do anything else. So unfortunately, Jay Woodcroft, I think as soon as he wants to coach again somewhere, I mean, he could. I wouldn't even be surprised if some team hires him this year, which would be wild.
Really?
I don't know if that's even possible. But I think as soon as he wants to coach again, he will. On the Edmonton side, I'm going McDavid. Look, if you're going to get plus odds on him to score, I think it's a good bet. And Evander Kane, he's been shooting the puck like crazy. Looks like he's starting to feel it again, and puck is starting to go for him. That's good news for him. Good news for Edmonton. He's at plus 210. On the Florida side, Reinhart, which I think has probably been their best player this year, and Matthew Tkachuk.
Yeah, I love it. I'm trying to find like just some point stuff because I do think that there'll be a lot of action here tonight. Like, for example, Evan Rodriguez is plus 110 for a point. Like, he was outside of the top 6, but with the Barkov injury, like that's one that I definitely like, plus money for a point. That one's over at DraftKings plus 110. Lindell, I can't find at all for a point, but he's plus 380 for a goal. He had a couple shots the other night. He's actually been shooting over the last couple games. Just a significant boost, right? To play with a guy like Reinhart and Carter Verhaeghe, he may fall into a couple points, score a goal tonight. So he's a decent long shot at plus 380. I do like Bouchard at over 2.5 shots at plus 105. And you mentioned Kane shooting the puck. Man, is he ever? Plus 130 for 4 shots tonight for him. So I'll be looking at a Bouchard assists. I think this is going to be a fun fantasy hockey game, and I'll lean with the Oilers going into Florida and winning the game here tonight. Do you have a side that you like?
Yeah,
it's tough to put your money on Edmonton these days.
It is, but they are in a bit of a roll, right? Like since the coaching change, like I don't know. I'm going to go Florida at home here, but I don't know. It's tough to pick a side. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch and a fun game for fantasy people and for bettors.
I tend to take the away team who's already been on the road, and we have Florida who went to San Jose, LA, Anaheim, and then back home here tonight. So I don't know, but I definitely think we'll see a little bit of offense in that game tonight. My cousin Jake Allen, giddy up. The Lightning aren't playing well when the Columbus Blue Jackets beat them.
It's true.
Well said. Okay, let's move on. Fun game, fun DFS game. It'll be pretty popular. Actually, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins too in DFS. Actually, when I was looking last night at the pricing, because I was writing the article for FTN Daily, I noticed he's like 5.5. He said assist minus 125 is okay for Nugent Hopkins, but I think he's a good DFS play tonight, and I definitely think Lindell is as well. Let's get Vancouver and San Jose out of the way. We don't have a board for them. I mean, the Sharks and the Canucks. These two teams will play each other twice this week. This one here in Vancouver, the Canucks are minus 360, and San Jose is plus 290. So, like, again, what are we doing here with the money? I put in last night over at Bet365 the Canucks on the puck line, I think at like minus 125, minus 130. Now it's getting out of hand. San Jose's been playing a little bit better lately, competitive, hanging around in games, and the Canucks are, I don't know. I think we're going to see a little bit of regression in their game. Like, they're 5-5 numbers. It has to, right? The power play is like operating at an unsustainable pace. The 5-5 scoring is okay for some of the stars, but they're scoring a lot, and they beat up on some brutal teams as well. San Jose being one of them. Like, they put up 10 goals against them earlier in the season. And I just think that they'll regress a ton for a little bit with some of their 5-5 numbers. But tonight, I mean, I like them. Hughes and Pedersen and Miller and Brock Besser, these guys are all in play tonight. On the other side, Hurdle and Zetterlund and Eklund, maybe if you want to go contrarian DFS. I don't know if I'm putting any money on those guys to like score goals, but I would say like they're all getting a ton of ice time, Eric. That trio in San Jose is like getting 20, 21 minutes a night. And they've been okay lately. Like, they've been putting up some points.
Yeah. I'm definitely picking Vancouver here. On the Vancouver side, I'm going Pedersen and Miller. I try to pick guys with different lines, right? And if they're playing together on the power play and they're playing on different lines, I think it's a good way to kind of spread things around goal scorer wise. It's like both have 26 points or 27 points. Like I was reading a thing the other day, I think it was from Dimitri, saying like their PDO is it's insane, right? Like it's just not sustainable. It doesn't mean they're going to lose a ton of games. They're just not going to.
The goals are going to dry up.
Right. Yeah. It's not going to continue like this. It's just statistically, I don't think it's possible. It's a fun story. I think the NHL is a better place when Vancouver's good. I wish they would go back to the black and orange and yellow jerseys.
Me too.
But not going to get that. Their jerseys stink. San Jose side, I'm going Eklund, plus 330. Look, he's playing on the top line, playing on the top power play. He might be their best young player. He's really good. Anytime I've watched San Jose, he like jumps off the screen, really good at holding on to the puck and creating for other people and setting things up. So that's a bright spot for San Jose. And this is an Anthony Duclair show. And
oh baby,
that 1 year where we just would say like he would be dropped and then picked back up and then dropped, and like all he did was just score points. He's a good player and tons of speed, great in the NHL. It's all about skating, and Duclair can skate like the wind. He could score, and he's plus 410. So if you're going to put a couple bucks on somebody to score, Anthony Duclair is a good bet.
I dig it. I like some of these shot props. There's a little bit of juice here, like Brock Besser minus 140, Elias Pettersson minus 150, JT Miller minus 125, Quinn Hughes minus 140. I'd rank them Besser. I'd probably rank them Besser, Miller, Hughes, Pettersson. We may not see them shoot a ton, but if they don't score, Mackenzie Blackwood's standing on his head, which we've seen a couple times this season. The goals are not there and the shots are there. So that's kind of how I play it. I'll do a same game parlay with some shot props. I'll do a same game parlay with some points. I have Pettersson for 2 points. I have Quinn Hughes for 2 points, Miller and Brock Besser to get a point. Over at Bet365, they have milestone points. So you don't have to take guys to have 2. You can just drink a little bit of juice. You can just put that 5, put the entire power play on for a point. Boom. All of those guys had a point. Maybe all of them have a shot or 2. It probably pays like 4-1, 5-1. So definitely going to get 30 plus attempts towards Mackenzie Blackwood. And I would say that's like on the low side because the Sharks are allowing 70 plus shot attempts at 5-5 per 60, and they're taking some penalties. And that Canucks power play is cooking. The regression is going to come, but it may not be tonight. Move over to Arizona. I got the Coyotes here and the Los Angeles Kings. Man, Adrian Kempe, man, this guy, he's just like one of my favorite players to watch. He's just so fun. He's got a wicked release. You see that shorthanded goal he had the other night against the Blues, just like unbelievable effort there. Just like, how you doing? Backhand shelf. He's got 8 goals and 18 points through 16 games. I just don't know how you ignore him in DFS. His price has moved up to $7K on DraftKings. He's got 5 goals over his last 6 games. Him and Kopitar and Byfield have just been one of the better 5-5 lines in the NHL this season. So I'm going back to them tonight in DFS. On the Arizona side of things, no Hayton. We'll see if Logan Cooley can take advantage of maybe extra ice time. They do have Boyd up on that top line. Travis, they played him at center the other night. They got Nick Schmaltz in the middle and then Boyd on the right side with Clayton Keller. I like your boy Lawson Krause. We had him the other night for over 1.5 shots. There's a little bit of juice, but I still took it. He's just been shooting a lot. He's got at least 2 shots in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of his last 9 games, and he's usually about even money for a point. So I know it's a tough spot against LA. I like the Kings. I put them in last night around minus 140. I'm not sure what the live odds are. You go ahead. I'll find the live odds, but I know you got some goals over there.
Yeah, I mean, this should be a fun game. Arizona's a fun team to watch with, lots of young, good players. Arizona side, Keller, I think every time for the last 3 years, if I bet on somebody to score from Arizona and he was in the lineup, I bet on Keller because he is their offense. And Logan Cooley has really impressed me, man. Like he's a child and he's a child and it is such a good player, creative with the puck, good at holding on to the puck, is not afraid to get in the rougher areas. Not a big guy, but decent size, good skater. Really like watching him play. And LA, I'm with you. Kempe is 150. He's the shooter. I mean, a top 10, maybe a top 5 shot in the NHL. Like just it's on his stick and off of his stick so fast. Maybe one of the most underrated players. Like I think hockey people and hockey circles know about him, but I mean, an average
this
person.
show definitely knows about him because we've been talking about him for like 3 years.
Yeah,
but I don't think enough of the hockey world does know about him because it's a West Coast LA squad. Nobody, even the fantasy world, doesn't give him enough love. Like Yahoo has him ranked in like the 200s. Like, come on, this guy's a 40 scorer.
Yeah, it's insane. He's such a good player. And on the and Fiala as well. He hasn't had the numbers this year, but I think they'll come. He's a really, really good offensive player as well. Playing on the top power play, so I like him to score as well.
There's some really good value on the Kempe assists because he's just scoring so much. He's plus 160 for an assist. Kopitar's plus 150 for an assist, and he's minus 145 for a point. Like that's the line. That trio to me is a line that I just want to continue to attack. And the Kings are minus 140 on the money line. It's probably my favorite bet of the day. Just really like the way that this team is playing. I don't think they've lost a game on the road yet this year either. So they've been really, really strong. And Arizona's dealing with a couple injuries, and it sounds like Ingram will go. He's been the better of the two between him and Vomelka. But I definitely like LA as long as it's Cam Talbot. Maybe it's not Cam Talbot. Maybe it's Copley. If it's Copley, I'd just take the over. I think we'd see some goals there because he hasn't been fantastic. But I still would back LA if it isn't Cam Talbot there. Let's head on over to Dallas. We'll talk about the Rangers and the Stars here. How about Artemi Panarin, a point in every game so far this year? What?
Dude.
Every game, this guy's picked up a point after doing nothing in the playoffs. It seems like a different motivated Panarin.
He copied my hairstyle. I mean, it's power. It's power. I was jealous of his hair. I lost mine. So anybody that has hair like that, I'm jealous of it. But he's just been such a good player for so long. He's another one of those guys where, like, when he shoots, you're like, man, he's so good. Like, but he often doesn't. He's just so good at holding the puck.
He's shooting this year, though.
He's shooting this year. And it's no surprise to anybody that watches him play. Probably no surprise to his teammates. If he shoots, he scores because he's just an elite hockey player, man. He's so fun to watch. I've got Kreider and Panarin for the Rangers, and on the Dallas side, I'm going Robertson and Wyatt Johnson. Wyatt Johnson's been really good for them, man, this year. And I know we got the Matt Duchene thing. I heard Darryl Belfry and Dmitry Filipovic talking about no, it wasn't Darryl Belfry, it was somebody else talking about Duchene, and they're like, oh man, I don't know if this is something that's been part of his game, but he's so good at holding the puck down low in Dallas and, like, creating for other people. It's like, this is the player that, this is what Matt Duchene's done forever. I mean, he was in Nashville. Like, I know statistically he didn't have a ton of points, but when he would get the puck low, he's not a big guy, but he's just so powerful on his skates and just could hold it and, move inside of a phone booth. Really cool to see them. I mean, it's crazy. Like, Nashville is on the line for a bunch of money. I think they're paying him $3.5 million, and he's been a star for the Dallas Stars. No pun intended.
He has been. Yeah, no, he has been, man. He's been part of the waiver wire article since day one. Dimitri and I got together. We talked a lot about Matt Duchene. Last year was a dud year for him, but 2 years ago he was awesome in Nashville. He was fantastic.
Yep.
There was a little bit of
40 goals
team last year. Yeah, it's just he still has it clearly, and the fantasy community is sleeping on him. DFS is sleeping on him. Tyler Seguin had a couple goals the other night. I take him every night basically for a point. Duchene, he's basically been a point per game player if you take away the first couple of games, just getting his footing with a new hockey team. So it's amazing about Panarin, by the way. So a point in every single game, but not just that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games in a row with at least 2 points. In 8 of his last 9 games, he's had multi-point games. He's plus 175 for 2 points tonight. It's not the best spot. It's the lowest total on the board at 6. It's Ottinger, and it's most likely Shesterkin. It could be a low-scoring affair. I did think that was going to be the case between Colorado and Dallas the other night, and then it just wasn't. Colorado exploded and came back on the Stars. But I think, at plus 175 for 2 points, it may just be worth your time to follow a trend here as well. Lafreniere scoring goals. He's got an alarming 25% shooting rate, but he is scoring goals thanks to Panarin on his line. But Matt Duchene, again, that line in DFS, just maybe tonight is not the night, but it's a line to consider because they're playing really good. And I've watched most of Dallas's games, Seguin, Marchman, and Duchesne. It's a trio that's playing really good hockey. And even tonight, again, Matt Duchesne is minus 110 for a point. He's plus 114 for 3 shots. I don't mind it because he's been hitting. And then Tyler Seguin is plus 105 for a point. And most likely, one of them will get a point. The other guy is going to get a point as well. It really does correlate here. Let's move over to Seattle. We have the Flames and the Kraken. We've seen a little bit more from Jonathan Huberdeau over the past couple of games, hitting the score sheet here and there. But there's 2 Flames that we need to talk about again. Calgary is one of, I think, 7 teams that play 4 games this week. So you can get the most of your moves if you pick up a couple dudes that we've been talking about on this show. I know you got them written down. Guaranteed. You either have Connor Zary or Martin Pospisil on that sheet of yours. Am I a liar?
You're a liar.
Come on.
I did think about Zary. I did think about it. But Pospisil is not playing on the power play, so
I know.
I get he scored a couple goals, but yeah, he's not on my sheet. I mean, he's probably plus 400 to score, so
let's find it.
Could be.
Who you got over there?
I'm going. Look at. I mean, these are our 2 bad teams, right?
Plus 4.
Seattle, how the mighty have fallen. They look brutal, man. They're brutal.
That's the regression. That they're getting it. Last year was all puck luck from them, right? Now this year it's
I mean, McCann scoring in every game. Look, he's a good player, right? He's a good player, but this is I think who Seattle is, right? You've got a bunch of like good hockey players that play hard and do the right things, but you don't have any stars. Maybe Matty Beniers, but he's been cold as ice. So Seattle side, I'm going Schwartz and I'm going McCann. Because I think if someone's going to score for them, it's going to be them. And look, they're playing Calgary, so they very well could tonight. And on the Calgary side, I'm going Lindholm and I'm going Kadri. Kadri he's looked pretty good the last couple of weeks, man. He kind of looks like Nazem Kadri again.
Mm-hmm. I was impressed with Seattle the other night against the Canucks. I think they're starting to turn a corner a little bit, but yeah, very awful start. They weren't scoring any goals.
I love this team.
Matty Beniers hit the score sheet the other night. I think, if you're looking, maybe he can get on a bit of a run with Jordan Eberle and McCann. They're back together. Maybe they can get on a run, but I still like your boy Tolvanen. I still like Bjorkstrand. Like these are guys that are just playing really good hockey right now. So Tolvanen is usually plus money for a point. He's plus 114 for a point. His shot prop is juiced at 1.5. Probably wouldn't go there for that one. You can do a 1.5 each with him and Lawson Krause potentially, and that one would probably hit. Oliver Bjorkstrand as well. He's minus 105 for a point. These guys are both playing together 5-5. They're both playing power play, but they're on different units. Tolvanen's on that point on the first unit, and Bjorkstrand's on that second unit. But they're both intriguing, in my opinion, for a point. And even Bjorkstrand for plus 130 for 3 shots, I don't think is too bad. Pospisil, I did write up and I don't think he doesn't have the same type of offensive upside as Zary. Zary's a former first-round pick in 2020. He's a guy that has a little bit more of a scoring touch. But Pospisil is kind of like, I feel like he should be your guy. Like you see him play there, he doesn't care, man. He's reckless. He runs people over. He puts pucks on net. So he's in a bangers league. He's kind of interesting. And the Flames, like I said, they have 4 games. He's throwing his body around and he's shooting the puck. But you're right, he's not getting any power play time. But he is playing with Zary and Nazem Kadri, who has been the Flames' most consistent player. I think the Kraken win this game on home ice. I'm gonna go with Tolvanen, Bjorkstrand points. I'm going to go with a Pospisil goal, man. I'm going to take it at plus 425, maybe like 0.25 units on it. But I think Kadri's in a good spot maybe to pick up a point as well. Could be a fun one. Okay. I think we've rolled through all of the boards and we have one more game left. Oh, yeah, your Preds. Nashville. Yep. Plus 143, Colorado, minus 154. Sorry, dude. I'm jumping on the Avs at minus 154. Oh, yeah. What you got over
there? I get it. Ryan Johansson coming home to play in Nashville, I think the first time since he moved over to Colorado. So that's cool. I got him to score at plus 290. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, for sure he'll get one. he's been pretty good for them. And I think, they'll be looking to get him on the board tonight. So I got him to score at plus 290 and McKinnon at plus 110. Nashville side, Forsberg plus 175. And Cody Glass centering the second line and centering the top power play, I think still has a lot to prove, but I think is going to be a very good player in the NHL for several years. And he's at plus 350 to score. So I like that. I'm going Nashville at home because I can't bet against them. I won't. I'm not going to put money on it, but I think Nashville wins.
Okay. Valeri Nichushkin, slow start to the season, put up on that top line. Your boy, scored a key goal the other night in Dallas against his former squad as well. That was really nice to see for him. He is getting a little bit too juicy to take as a shot prop at minus 155, 2.5. But I do think that he puts $3 on net. And that top line, McKinnon has just been okay lately. But Rantanen, McKinnon, and Nichushkin, I think, will be a handful for the Preds. So he's, I think, maybe even to consider the minus 150 for a point, I think happens as well. But the plus 150 for an assist, I think, is a pretty good bet as well. It's kind of like the Kings boys and Kopitar and Kempe. You expect them to hit the score sheet. Like Vegas is thinking that they're going to hit the score sheet. It's significantly juiced for a point. The point may just come via the assist. So I'm going to go with Nichushkin for an assist because I think McKinnon does pot a couple tonight, at least one. So plus 150 for the Apple. And one guy I wanted to bring up to you is just like Nyquist. I know we've talked about him a couple times, but he's getting an opportunity, man, to play with Ryan O'Reilly, who's been a point per game player with the Preds, and Philip Forsberg. So he can fall into a point tonight as well. Okay, we did it. We're done. I'm going to roll through some sides. You have some goal scorers there. So we'll wrap up here with our favorite picks. I got the Canucks on the puck line last night. Jumped on him early. It's just kind of what I do. I know San Jose has disappointed us here and there, but the process is correct. Minus 140 is a bit much. You can't get that number anymore, but I do think Vancouver wins this game by a couple goals. I got the Kings on the money line, currently at minus 140. I got the Avs on the money line, currently at minus 154. Again, if you're subbed with us, you get the number right away. You get notified. We talk about it in the Discord channel. Promo code GRAVY. And then I like the Bruins at minus 130 here tonight. So those are the picks that I like for in terms of sides. And we'll toss it over to you for some goal scorers.
Let's go. McDavid, Kane, Reinhart, Matthew Tkachuk, Pasta, Marchand, Kucherov, Stamkos, McKinnon, Ryan Johansson, Forsberg, Cody Glass, Kreider, Panarin, Robertson, Wyatt Johnson, Kempe, Fiala, Keller, Cooley, Lindholm, Kadri, Schwartz, McCann, Eklund, Duclair, Pedersen, and Miller. The 8-way Maniac parlay goes as followed: McDavid, Pasternak, Kucherov, McKinnon, Forsberg, Kempe, Pedersen, Matthew Tkachuk. My lock of the night to score is my boy, Philip
Forsberg, pot in the goal. For me, goal scorers would be Carter Verhaeghe. I like Carter Verhaeghe, and I like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins tonight. Something about Hopkins tonight has just got me intrigued. So I'll starting with that game with 7, the total of 7. I think we see some offense there. So Carter Verhaeghe and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. I like Nathan McKinnon for the Avs to break out tonight. I'm going to go with Matt Duchene, although I don't think we'll see a lot of goals between the Rangers and the Stars. And I'm going to ride something here with Matt Duchene. Kempe, again, just going to continue to ride that one. I'll go with JT Miller for the Canucks, but there's certainly a few there that are in play. Pospisil is a long shot play. And then I like Ellie Tolvanen tonight to score. For some shot props, I'll start up at the top. Bergeron, why am I doing that? Marchand and Pasternak. I like Evander Kane and Evan Bouchard. I like Nathan McKinnon and Valeri Nichushkin. On the other side, Forsberg's just been shooting, right? It doesn't matter the opponent. He's just been shooting. I think he's a good play. I'm going to stay away from Kempe for shots and just get the goal there for him. And then on the Canucks side of things, JT Miller, Quinn Hughes, Brock Besser, those guys are all in play. And longer shots plus money stuff would be Matt Duchene, Bjorkstrand, and we'll leave it at that. 7-game slate. Quick, who has the worst contract in the NHL? You can't say Zach Werenski. You know what? Maybe Josh Anderson. Doesn't have a goal yet this season. Makes over $5 million. What are you doing out there?
Yeah, that's bad.
At least Darnell Nurse has got to be actually the worst in the NHL.
Pretty bad.
How does he make over $9 million? Ugh. We're out of here.
Good player, but $9 million is insane.
He's making George money, man. Holy crap.
Yeah.
McDonald's coupons over there. All right. Happy Thanksgiving. Promo code GRAVY.
Love it.
Joe Burrow. 40% off all packages. FTN Bets, FTN Daily, and FTNFantasy.com. I will be here on Wednesday. Huberto's is pretty bad too.
Yeah.
Pretty bad too. Yeah. There's some bad contracts out there. Some bad GMing happening right now in the NHL. Okay, I'll be back on Wednesday. EY won't be here. Maybe we'll have a guest, but there's a ton of action in the NHL, so we'll rapid fire through some picks and stuff like that. Check out FTNBets.com for the free article. Check out FTNDaily.com for the free article as well. And use that promo code. Sub with us, and I don't think that you guys will be disappointed. Any questions, you can reach out at Chris Meaney, at the Eric Young on the Twitter machine, meanstreetsftn@gmail.com. Rate, review, subscribe, smash those like buttons, and hopefully all the winners are yours. We'll talk to you on Wednesday. Cheers.